Alright, let's see if we can work on limited bullets. So I had this idea that each member starts off with some ammo in their initial state. So as soon as you connect, you're given some ammo. And every time you fire the gun, we deduct some of your ammo. And then when you collect ammo, we increase your ammo allocation. So it's just a number. I don't think this needs to be in the gen server because there's a delay and there's no reason to have two copies of it. Like nobody else needs to know how many bullets you have. This is really for your experience, and we want it to react quickly. And so let's try to do that. So currently, our state and everyone else's state is held inside the member states, which starts off initially as an empty object. And the member state in there is initialized with this, that our mic is muted. We have a nickname that is as yet unset. We set that when we enter some things, and the health is 100. And so we could just put in ammo, let's say 10. So we need to extend this shape. So this will be member state, and we'll put in ammo as a number. So it will get pushed to the gen server, but we don't really need to modify it based on messages. And I just don't know of a better place to put this for now. Actually, we could put it inside the bullet manager, since this isn't really need to be shared state. Okay, let me think about that idea. Let me roll this back. Going back into member states over here. Let's look at bullet manager. Handles the drawing of the bullets and hitting targets, firing the bullet, animation. Now the thing that's triggering the message, however, isn't here. That's actually in XR Manager. XR Grip Manager. This is what's firing the bullets. This is what's determining, we're saying trigger squeezed. So we're emitting this message that entity trigger squeezed, which says that you're holding on to something and squeezing the trigger. And perhaps we can convert this into a local message first. Entity trigger squeezed. Yes, let me create a local message that is called entity trigger squeezed. And we'll get a payload that matches types. We'll get a payload that matches this entity trigger squeezed. it'll be the entity ID and the position of my hand and the direction of my hand. So I just got this portion here. Okay, so that's just me. And then Bullet Manager can listen for that, and if I have enough bullets, then I'll emit that other message. So we go to XR grip. First, let's see how many times this message is responded to. We have event name, additional signal hub, type, bullet manager. This receives an incoming event and draws a bullet for anybody. Inline is responding to this message to, oh no, it's emitting this message. Okay. Grip manager. Okay, so I think that all the drawing of the bullet is happening inside bullet manager. Now I kind of don't want to name these exactly the same thing. So let's call it trigger squeezed while holding. And we need the entity, right? Go back to signal hub. We have the entity, position, and the direction. Trigger squeezed with entity. Okay, so now it's called something else. And now we need to emit this message everywhere we were emitting the other thing. So shootable. If something is shootable, we do this. And so we'll comment this out and we'll just say signal hub local emit trigger squeezed with entity, and the value is entity ID is this intersected mesh ID, then position, and just copy this. Alright, so now we're not emitting this, we're emitting this. And inline, copy this as well. that. What else? And then the bullet manager is responding to this, and that's fine. Here's the type. And okay, so everything else is the same. We've emitted this other message, so that means we can't fire any real bullets because we're just triggering this alternate message. Now we'll go back to Bullet Manager to listen to the alternate message and then forward it to the outgoing message. So back into Bullet Manager. Here we're listening for it, but we don't actually generate this message. But we need to have the number of bullets. So we can say my bullets, public my ammo count. That's a number. And we'll say this my ammo count starts at 10. Okay. And then whenever I hear, to fire my bullets if I have ammo, we do signal hub local on trigger squeeze with entity. We'll subscribe to this, and this will be my payload. And if this my ammo count is greater than 0, then we'll deduct this is it minus equal 1? Yeah. Deduct 1 and emit the message. So let event equal, the M will be event name, trigger squeeze, and the payload will be the payload plus the member ID, which is member ID is my member ID, and merge that with payload, and then we'll emit that on signal hub. So signal hub outgoing and incoming. And this says this argument of type is not assignable to type event. M are incompatible. Event name not assignable to event name target hit. Okay, so now we'll forward it as long as I have ammo. So I should be able to shoot 10 times. Okay, I need a gun. Okay, and of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm out of bullets. Great, it works. Of course, if I reload, I'll get 10 more bullets because bullet manager, there's no persisted state of bullets. I need to re-grab this to set this up. Yep, great. Okay. So, now we want to be able to collect ammo in order to replenish our supply. So what we could do, oh, also let me test the mobile version. So let's say is mobile true. Drop this. So I click there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that's it. Great. So that works as well. Now I want to pick up some ammo. I think that's some ammo. So when I collect it, nothing will happen. But I could listen for it inside Bullet Manager. So replenish my ammo if I pick up an entity with ammo tag, let's say. Or perhaps metadata, I'm not sure. Currently, when we create that in Scene Manager, ammo box, it's got a collectible on it. And maybe we want to say how much ammo it has. So mesh metadata equal ammo 10. Okay. So we'll go to Bullet Manager and we'll listen for an incoming message. So Signal Hub, incoming on event, and we want to filter for particular kind of event. So we've got a event, and the event message must equal event name entity collected. It also has to be us doing the collection. So, and event payload member ID has to be this my member ID. So if we get an event like this, we can do subscribe and with the, now let's check the collectible. So the scene get mesh by ID event payload event entity ID. So this is the collected let collected mesh is that. And actually, it would already have been removed. It potentially is removed. Yeah, because when we get it, there's a collection manager, I think. Collect manager. So when okay, so this just handles the what do you call the triggering of the message. So who's listening to entity collected? The avatar collect entity over here. So this thing's disposing of it. So if you dispose of it, I don't know that it's still discoverable on the scene graph. I think not. So we have a race condition because something's trying to read from something as you're deleting it, unless you hide it. Okay, so we could do that. Let's not dispose. Let's do visibility equal 0 and disable enabled. Set enabled false. Okay, so this will hide it. Therefore, we can still query it. So you can go back to the bullet manager. If all of these are true, then set this my ammo count increment by collected mesh metadata ammo. And then you'll be able to shoot again. Okay. Okay, I'm out of bullets. I come over here. I'm gonna try to collect this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. I'm out. Okay, so it worked. I'll collect bullets and fire some more. Nice. And now one thing about when I reload this page and the gun is already assigned to me and it snaps into my hand, but the state of inline isn't set to holding a gun, and that's why I can't fire. Is there a way to fix this? Then maybe when you set the who's holding what, if it's myself, then set holding to be true. That happens in Avatar Manager, I believe. We handle the about space. So if entity grabbed, you go grab, find avatar, grab entity. But you have to do something for inline, right? Entity grabbed. If it's me, we can just listen for it over here in inline. In inline, we're waiting for certain events. So here you're saying held mesh. If held mesh, I can just change this into a method that checks to see if your right hand, which we have this right hand mesh, has a child. So held mesh. So we'll say this right hand mesh and this right hand mesh has child. Get all child meshes. What's the difference between this and get children? These are all nodes. Get child meshes is what I want. Direct descendants only. True. So this has to be true. Alright, so if you don't have a right hand, return null. If you have a right hand and check child meshes, so let child meshes equal, and then if child meshes dot length is greater than 0, then return child meshes the first one, else return null, and then change this to be this everywhere. I think if somebody steals it, we don't have to do anything because it's going to be unparented from me anyway. So I probably don't need this anymore. And where else? I'll have that. Let's get rid of held mesh as a property. If you shoot something, then say, then bind it. Emit grabbed. This emit grabbed. This will send the message, but then it will also bind it. So I don't think we need to actually send. I don't think I need to do that. Don't need to do. Oh, let's just comment it out. Don't need to do that. Don't need to do that. Any red? No problems. Alright. So it detected that we're holding, and I'm not able to move. So what's going on here? This isn't working. Turning isn't working. Any errors? Let's refresh. Oh, I just can't see anything. There's nothing in this space. Let's go back to a space that has a floor. How about that? Okay. Yeah, I'm moving and I want to grab this gun. I can't grab it. Clicking on it does nothing. What is that? An inline, I'm probably clicking on it. Pointer info. Oh, if this held mesh is null, then I'll do that. Okay. Is there any? Let me find all references of held mesh. Oh, these are just comments. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, I'm holding it. I'm releasing it. I'm moving over the side. I'm going to hold this one too. Fire. I'm out of bullets. Now I'm going to refresh. Position is retained and I can shoot. Awesome. Let's go to this mode. My hand still has it. And exit. Coming back in here. I'm out of bullets, but let me go and collect this thing. Collect. And I can shoot. Awesome. Cool. Out of bullets again. Collect this thing. And I can shoot. Okay, so I've got bullets working. I mean ammo, collect the ability to collect ammo working. Okay, that. Okay, next we'll work on a red door, blue door, other kind of collectibles.